These are the two demons stalking after the entity flies over my head by helicopter. Again, they're in engineer light. And these are the demons that are very much psychopaths. They're listening to me document, and they engage in what is an act of retaliation by coming in the path in your line of vision. That's a communication of a threat when they're gang stalking you, and they're in the specific environment. 7-Eleven is gang stalking with them. That's light activity. He's making a delivery in engineer light, okay? The entity is doing so in a specific environment. You can see my shadow. It's a stuttered shadow. That's activity creation. His shadow's on both sides of his persons. They're gang stalking with the city police. Ontario Police Department come to the 7-Eleven, monitoring me after, again, flying over me by helicopter. That's relevant to what 7-Eleven in relevant position is committing as well. It's called light activity, relevant positioning. And also, by the way, this is Woodside Senior Apartments, where the Ontario Police Department has been targeting me as of 2024 of September until the present kidnapping that they engaged in May of 2025. This is the entity that's gang stalking with the people of the state, license 9NZY181, and I'm documenting, also supplementing the evidence on podcast. So again, I just want to be clear, what you're listening on the podcast and video, this is chronology. The entity is crossing path. Ontario police are stalking in the middle of the night. The police department itself, they're all in their vehicles and they're pacing all around me. This is what their patrolling is about, and they're doing so in the specific environment. There's the fake moon. All right, the entity is engaging in what is, let me show you my shadow here so you can understand that the Ontario Police Department are demons and they're stalking me. All right, they're doing so. This is a fake moon that's remaining over me. That's absolutely impossible light activity way down at the end of another building over here on the sidewalk, okay? Ontario police just engaged in stalking, sounding the amplified sound of reminiscent of a gunshot, and then a demon crosses path speeding down G Street. Immediately following, a demon from Woodside Senior Apartments, a homosexual African-American male, while he is switching in engineer light, the Ontario Police Department fly directly over my head, fly in a circle, and then patrol back, flying over me again, and then fly away. The Ontario Police Department that are triggered by my documentation as I laugh about the fact that they are serving to disband themselves. Two more demons that lack self-control and engineer light. Nope, they're keeping me under surveillance, and these demons are psychopaths, and their mental illness is exhibited not only through this environment, their mental illness is exhibited through this environment. Psychopaths gang stalking in some secret manner that you're never supposed to know about. It's public corruption. They're making a delivery in engineer light. They are monitoring with the police, public corruption that you're never supposed to know about. And their actual reason for being here is monitoring, and they're very triggered because I am exposing them as the stalkers that they've been for years. Those two officers are going to federal prison for that. I just want to be clear. They engage in murdering people. They engage in kidnapping people. They engage in conspiring, setting people up. And I am the one that is exposing them, and they are losing it with regard to their inability to control themselves instead of staying off of my camera, because all they're doing is monitoring. You're not free to be in relevant position. You're not free to even live in relevant. The government's monitoring. So let's get to the principle of the matter. But you could go to a different 7-Eleven. You could go to we're not going to entertain an illusion like they're not gang stalking. They're gang stalking, and they cannot control themselves. And I keep documenting more and documenting more and documenting more. They're going to federal prison. Gang stalking police officers that cannot control themselves either, they have no business in law enforcement in the first place. Those are the unstable psychopaths that murder people. They murder people on a whim. That police department justifies their conduct. The police department that's gang stalking American citizens justifies their conduct. The gang stalking courthouses that are monitoring, they justify their conduct. And this is how you have raging psychopaths that are in law enforcement in this country, and they're monitoring American citizens. Those two demons went into 7-Eleven. They're on surveillance camera. The entity is pacing on Euclid Avenue, gang stalking me, focused on me, and they're also focused on my vagina. They're focused on my vagina, the genitalia between my legs, what it is, that the moment that I pull my panties down, like every other sex offender that's up monitoring with the entity that flew over me by helicopter, flew in a circle over me by helicopter. That's how obsessed with my vagina the Ontario Police Department, including those two demons that went into 7-Eleven, the most pathetic, cowardly means of stalking somebody. Because they want to maintain an appearance one way, but they're actually maniacal psychopaths who are stalking, and they're demon-possessed. The demon-possessed are being removed from law enforcement. And in Ontario, the Ontario Police Department is being disbanded. This is P.O.C. It's 1 o'clock where the Ontario Police Department is engaging in violence against women, sounding gunshots and then pacing all around me in helicopter and in police vehicles, which is not only gang stalking, it's a communication of an unlawful threat upon analyzing the specific environment where monitoring is underway. The Ontario Police Department is being disbanded. Here's my shadow here. Here's my shadow here. The entity is obsessively gang stalking. P.O.C.